Vivekachudamani, 424th verse. Vasananudayo bhogye vairagyasya tadavadihi aham bhava udaya bhavo bodhasya paramavadihi Leena vrittehe anutpattihi maryada uparatestu sa. Vasana anudayo bhogye vairagyasya tada avadihi. In all spiritual traditions, in all religions, dispassion is emphasized. That you should have vairagya, dispassion. You should not go after sense objects. You should not go after things of the world. So every religion tells this, that you should not run after wealth, desire, name and fame, etc. And what will happen by that? By not running after wealth, material things, what will happen? Vasana anudaya. In your mind, what causes problem in your mind? Does your mind cause problem? It doesn't? Oh, so when you sit for studies, you have no problem, no distraction.
For exam only.
Huh?
For exam only.
For exam only you have distraction. Otherwise you have no distraction. Oh, so why does that distraction come?
I don't know.
That is the point. So that distraction comes because mind wants to do so many things. And when you are doing something, you are unable to do that because of mind pulling you in several directions. And that is why in almost all religions, it is emphasized that you have to control the mind. Even if you go for work or if you want to study, teachers will tell you that you have to control the mind. Concentration. Concentration is nothing but control of mind. Now what will happen if you control the mind? And how will you control the mind? You control the mind by bringing it and focusing it on a particular thing which you want to do at that particular time. That is how you control the mind. Now if you control the mind, what happens? If you continuously do this for a long time, then vasana anudaya. So then what happens is, desires do not disturb you anymore. Do you have a dog in your house? No, you don't. Do you love dogs? No. So dogs, you see, they are very disciplined. If you train a dog and you give it food, that dog will not eat unless you tell it to eat. Just because the food is there, it will not eat. A trained dog, that is, not an untrained dog. So if you go on YouTube, you will see various videos where the dog is told eat and then it will eat. Unlike even human beings also don't have that. So higher pedigree dogs like Golden Retriever, Labrador, or German Shepherd, these kinds of dogs, they usually can be trained easily. And when they are trained, you give them a bowl of food, they will not eat unless you ask them to eat. They will just look at you and wait for your command. So similarly, your mind will become so trained that if you want to study, you will study. If you want to watch a movie, you will watch a movie. Your mind will not be distracted by anything other than what you're doing. This is not a good thing? Huh? To be concentrated? Yeah. So if you are not bothered about anything, okay, so that is what will happen if you train your mind. That is what is meant by vairagya, training of the mind. It's called dispassion. That means bringing away your mind from things that you don't want. We don't want suffering, but yet all of us suffer. Why? Because of our want, desire. You want suffering. You want to suffer, that is why you suffer. All of us have desires, and that causes suffering. So vasana anudaya, bhogye vasana anudaya. The end of desires is vairagyasya tadavadi. That is the ultimate fulfillment of dispassion. And aham bhava udaya abhava bodhasya paramavadi. And in all spiritual traditions or religious traditions, we are told that you should attain knowledge. Knowledge of what? God or oneself, etc. etc. What will happen if you attain such knowledge? You will have aham bhava udaya abhava. You will not have the idea of I am doing this. This is my house. This is my car. This is my spouse. This is my office, etc. etc. And this biryani I have prepared. So if you eat this biryani and say that this biryani is not better than the other biryani which is available in a particular restaurant, so even though it is horrible, but you should say that it is nice. He's smiling, you see. Personal experience.
Personal experience. How will you guess?
No, why is a smile? Suddenly this is all teeth, Sibaka, Binaka advertisement.
No, the reason is I love biryani.
That's what I'm saying. No, there is some personal experience.
So I was imagining what kind of biryani.
For that I will ask you why you guess.
From the body
Face,
language.
face.
From the body language, yeah.
So you see, though you know that this biryani is not good, you will get better biryani in some other place. Jisan or what? Where?
Yeah, Nishan Kolkata. Though I have not eaten, I heard.
No, but I think she has eaten, no? Jishan? No, I don't remember the name of the hotel. Oh.
Doctor told her, don't eat chicken.
Arsalan.
Arsalan, now Arsalan biryani.
Tajir biryani.
The best biryani is in Taj Vivanta.
Shodargaon.
Every restaurant will say that they have the best.
I've tried.
That's the whole thing about biryani. You see?
I've tried.
If you go to Kolkata, in every gully there is one, or if you go to Lucknow, every gully they have this big this thing vessel, and they will say that this is the best. So anyway, the point is that because I have made that biryani, it has to be best. Because it is my child, this child has to be best. Though the child may be the problem of the entire mohalla, but that child has to be best because it is my child. Otherwise, who cares? So this is that I ahankara mamakara. Ahankara is I and me, and mamakara is mine. So I and mine. This is what causes suffering all our lives. So if you have knowledge of true knowledge of yourself or complete knowledge of yourself or God, whatever you may call it, then this ahankara will not be there. This conscious, always this idea of I have done. Shankaracharya calls it, what does it call it? He calls it doership and enjoyership. Kartrutva, bhoktritva. The idea of doership and enjoyership. Since I have done this, you have to appreciate me. Even when you are in school, if some of your classmates wear something new, dress, they like to be appreciated, is it not? Yeah, they will show the shoe like this. So when we were kids, when somebody used to do like that, we used to completely ignore him.
That is the kacha ami.
Kacha ami. Unripe ego and ripe ego. So what happens in when we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna or some such books, when we read, somehow our ego is so strong that when we read, we say, oh, this is kacha ami. This is meant for other people. I am not like that. I am mature. So I am somehow belonging to the category of paka ami, ripe ego. See, so everyone thinks that spiritually they are very mature. Thereby proving that they are not mature. One who knows does not know, and one who does not know knows. Okay, so there is this Upanishadic story where a person goes to the Gurukula and comes back, and the teacher, father, he asks, two people go and come back. So, two brothers. The father asks, have you realized God? And one fellow is silent. And the other fellow goes on and on and on and on about God. Then the father says that you have not. You have not realized. So then he teaches. So that is how this is. So if you know, if you think that you know, you don't know. Aham bhava udaya. So the whole idea about dispassion is vairagya. And knowledge is from viveka it comes. From discerning what is real, what is unreal, this comes knowledge. So knowledge, jnana, when it comes, what happens? When vairagya comes, you are no more bothered about external objects, sense objects. You have no attraction to the world. And when you get complete knowledge, you have no ego, sense of ego. And then what happens? Leena vrittehe anutpattihi maryada uparatestu sa. Uparati. What is uparati? Withdrawing oneself from sense objects. That is called uparati. What is the limit of uparati? When do you know the limit is attained? When leena vrittehe. When in your mind no thoughts arise. In your mind no thoughts arise. When does our mind have no thoughts? In deep sleep. When you sleep in deep sleep, your mind has no thoughts. But that is in deep sleep. You are not aware of it. When you consciously remove all thoughts from your mind, that means how can you do it? If you don't sow a seed, no plant will grow. What are the seeds for thoughts? Desires. If you don't have desires, there will be no thought. If there is no thought, then what will happen? Anutpattihi. Not only there will be no thoughts, there will be no further, means thoughts will not come, and they will, whatever thoughts are there, they will leena vrittehe, they will get merged, and there will be no more new thoughts coming. Our problem is, you think that you have taken care of one problem, and then other problem comes. Swamiji says, it is like rheumatism. It is in your back, then it goes to your knee, like that. It can never be cured. So, our problem is that. You think now this will happen, then I will have some time. Now because I have career, I have a child to take care of, so I am not able to devote time to my mind. Once these things are settled, then the child grows up, now marriage of career, where the child will go, then marriage is there. Then after marriage, you see the child, both of them are working, so I have to take care of their children. So like that, you never will have time for your mind. Why? Because you are not interested. Simple thing is you are not interested. Like somebody asked me yesterday, if there is no ignorance in deep sleep, then what will happen? Before. So because we have ignorance, we are saved, Baba. Some of that was wonderful. What is possible?
Ignorance to...
It was in a different context actually.
No. What are you saying?
আপনি মাইন্ডটাকে কন্ট্রোল করবেন এবং থ্রো দ্য ইগনোরেন্সটা যদি আমরা বাদ দিয়ে যে এটা কি সম্ভব সাধারণ মানুষের পক্ষে?
হ্যাঁ, আমার কি দুটো সুইং আছে নাকি?
না, সিং নেই।
হ্যাঁ, তো সাধারণ মানুষই করছে। You see, this can be done all the time. Why does a person get selected in, say, the civil services in India? Why
does he get selected?
Because that person is studying and focusing and studying. So even so many people get into the civil services. Why do some people excel even there? They're focusing. Now only thing is, it's a matter of degree. You have to focus more. It's possible, very much possible. If you can focus to attain these things, you can very much focus. In fact, it is much simpler. There is no examination you have to sit for. There are no multiple choice questions you have to answer. You have to just observe what is already happening. So it's much simpler. It's much simpler and it is much easier to do. Even if a person has to become a doctor, ordinary MBBS, has to spend 6 years. Is it not? 6 years. But here you don't need to spend 6 years. That is why Swami Brahmananda said that if you practice this and within 4 years if you don't get any result, come and slap me. So that means it is possible. But we don't want to do it. Why do we don't want to do it? Because it will be a problem.
To begin, where from you will start? Where from you will start?
So, see, examples are being made of you, but not in the positive sense. So, that is why now you see, whenever you take a lesson, in any subject, whenever you study, before the lesson starts, they will say objectives of this unit, objectives of this lesson. So, similarly, Shankaracharya here is giving, of course, towards the end of the Vivekachudamani, he has given it in the beginning also, but here he is giving in 3 lines the objective of what will happen if you practice Vairagya or Viveka or Uparati. What will you gain? You would gain complete cessation of desires, complete cessation of the idea of I, ego, and the complete cessation of all thoughts. So everything will come to an end. Then he says, Brahmakarataya sada sthitataya nirmukta bahyartha dhihi anyavedita bhogya bhoga kalano nidraluvat balavat swapna alokita lokavat jagadidam pashyan kvachit labdadhi aste kaschid ananta punya phalabhuk dhanyah samanyo bhuvi. So Vivekachudamani, another characteristic of this text is that it is highly poetic. So here he says, Brahma akarataya sada sthitataya. A person who is always merged in the idea of Brahman. That means ultimate reality, ultimate truth. Your true personality. A person who is always merged in that. Sada sthitataya. And always established in that. Nirmukta. And that person is freed from all sense of external objects. Bahya artha. Bahya means external. Artha means sense objects. So that person is freed from all attachment to outside sense objects. You see, sense objects create problem. Though you are sitting quietly, suddenly you see something. You see a jalebi, say for example. You did not get jalebi?
Yeah, yesterday.
So if you see jalebi, now this jalebi is a difficult thing. Before you came to Mayavati, you have eaten jalebi so much. But I will assure you, after you go from here, no jalebi will seem even near close. Because this is pure ghee and pure milk. No, where will you get that? So that is the problem. So the jalebi you see, now then you have something to compare with. Say Mayavati ka jalebi. Means Mayavati Ashram ka jalebi. So you have something to compare. Oh, Mayavati te gechlam ki darun jalebi khayechlan Maharaj. You forget Vivekachudamani, you might not remember, but jalebi definitely you will remember.
Now we will remember because related with jalebi.
Yeah, that's right. You see, that's the trick. So sense objects you will always remember. And if you are going, say, there is a mall, Crest Mall in Kolkata. Quest. It's supposed to be a luxury mall. So most people can do, even people who have real money can do, is only window shopping. Because you go and see a small bag of this size is 6 lakhs. Okay, so you just see, oh wonderful, and come back. So window shopping many people do, and there are eateries there, so people go and eat. That you can do, of course. So now you just see a mall and you go and see a bag. That's all. Afterwards, whenever you see a bag, you want to buy a bag, you will always compare it with this bag, which you couldn't purchase. Whenever you go on a tour, you will compare it with a trip which you couldn't make. Sometimes whenever somebody marries, they always compare with a person they couldn't marry. It happens. You see, sense objects always have this problem. So they always make you compare things. And ये हो सकता था अगर मेरे पास ऐसा होता तो. If this would have happened, then that would have
This car,
happened.
that car.
Yes. So, but a person who has realized one's true self and is always merged in one's true reality, that person is nirmukta, bahya artha dihi. That person is free from all sense objects. And anya avedita bhogya bhoga kalano. And that person is happy, content with enjoying or experiencing whatever is offered to that person by others. Whatever is offered to her or him by others, that person is content with. Okay. And then nidralu vat balavat. Like whom? Like a person, one who is asleep or in sleep, and like a child. Nilakshi, when you are, has it ever happened that you are in the middle of the sleep and your mother woke you up and say, hey, eat this? Has it happened? Oh, she doesn't go to sleep before eating. Good. So, but sometimes it happens with children, particularly younger children, infant. So they are asleep and mother wakes them up and say, eat. And the child is not aware. And then, okay, something. Then if you ask, yesterday night you did not give me any food. It's common. Children will say, you did not give me any food yesterday night. What are you ate? When did I eat? You did not feed me? With you? Oh. So like that. You see, and Balavat, an infant, does not know anything, does not probably know how to eat oneself. So they will make all this, no? In our younger days, means when we were young, there was this Ferex. I don't know now whether it is there. Is there?
Now I think no.
Then there are so many things, Cerelac, Ferex and all they used to make. And then, no, even when I was young, like in school, it was there for a long time.
Nestle company.
Nestle company. So this they will give and then you will eat and it will, sometimes some children will they will do and it will be all over their face, etc. So this is what they are not aware of what is being offered to them. Whatever is coming, they are eating. A person who has realized God will be exactly like that. Anya avedita bhogya bhoga kalano means that person will kalana, experience bhoga things, but that which has been offered to by other people, offered to him or her by other people, just like a person who is asleep or a child. Swapna alokita lokavat jagadidam pashyan kvachit labdhati. Labdhati, a person who has attained illumination, a person who has attained the knowledge of ultimate reality. How do they look upon this world? Like swapna alokita lokavat. Just like in dream, you have light in dream. Otherwise, how do you see? You have some light in dream. Though you are asleep, though you have switched off all lights in your room, bedroom, and you are asleep, but while you are dreaming, you have enough light. And that is the light of dream. And in that dream light, you see the world. Just like that, a person who is established in God or Brahman sees this world to be like dream. Narendranath or Swami Vivekananda, when he was young, he used to experience this all the time. He says that he used to see this world as a dream. It was not very concrete to him. For people, it is really concrete. This world is concrete. So to that person, it is not concrete. It is like a dream. It's all very foggy and smoky kind of thing. Of course, there is a thin line of difference between saintliness and insanity. You know, even a schizophrenic sees this world as unreal, or rather creates another world. That is the difference. That person creates another world, hallucinates, is constantly in a delusional state. But a person who has realized does not create any world, and even this world appears unreal. Aste kaschid ananta punya phala bhuk dhanyah sa manyo bhuvi. So this person is ananta punya phala bhuk dhanyah. This person is enjoying the phala or results of ananta punya, endless merits, endless good actions what that person has done. Sa manyo bhuvi, and that person is blessed, and that person is in this bhuvi dhanya, blessed, and manyo, that person is esteemed on earth. Whom do you esteem in this world? A person who does not bother about the world. It's kind of ironic, but you give more respect to the person who does not bother about. Why? See, a person who does not bother about the world is first ridiculed, then hated, then revered. Okay. Why ridiculed? So a person who does not bother about the world is usually revered after that person's death. When Sri Ramakrishna was alive, what kind of ridicule he had to. So first he was called Pagla Brahman. So he is a mad Brahmin. Then some people started coming to him. And some people started hating him. To the point that his own wife was not given. So in those days he made a mutual fund account. He made some investment from where interest, from which interest Sarada Devi will be taken care of. But that whole thing was eaten away. And that was not. So people used to hate him also. And few people revered him. Very few when he was alive. And when he passed away, many people now revere him. Now that is how. So you see, a person who does not, why do we ridicule? Because we can't do. See, particularly in India, we have the Swamiji says, but jealousy is the bane of this country, this nation. Just because you can't do, anybody else is doing it, you can't bear that. So you think that somehow this has to be taken care of, ridiculed, etc. And then you hate because you have now understood that even if you ridicule, this person is much better than you and is excelling in what that person is doing. So hate. And then finally when you understand that this person has become old or died, now there is no more khatra, then you start respecting. No, but it may be humorous to hear this, but it's a fact nonetheless. So that is what is being told. A person who has done lot of good deeds. What does that mean? Good deeds means, here it means that the person has controlled the mind and practiced austerities. And that person, Kaschid, there are only very few people like that, rare. In Gita we have this shloka. What is the shloka we have in Gita? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. So among thousands of people, sahasra means thousand, thousands of people, but you can say millions of people. Very few try to attain spiritual perfection. Among those who do try, very few attain. So Swamiji's equation is 100 people, of 100 people who come to religion, 85 are hypocrites and 10 are mad and only 5 are. So this is, now you have to categorize yourself. Are you a hypocrite or are you mad? First of all, you have to understand whether you have come to religion at all. That you have to decide. And if you think you have come to religion, whether you are a hypocrite or you are mad, and of course, so the problem with us is, all of us almost think that we belong to that 5%. That is the problem. We think that, that is for ordinary people. I am like, you see, whenever somebody is given the example of Janaka, everyone wants to identify themselves with Janaka, Raja Rishi. I am, you see, like Raja Rishi. I follow that ideal of Raja Rishi. I want to work and be in the world. So it's all fooling oneself. It's not so easy. So here Shankaracharya says, so what are the characteristics of a person who has attained God realization? That person will not be attached to external sense objects. That person will be happy with whatever comes of its own. That person will be like a child. and then person will be looking at this world as though it is in dream. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.